In the bustling streets of Malaysia, where every face tells a story, one night etched itself into my memory. A night when I stumbled upon an unexpected opportunity to make a difference and, in the process, made a fool of myself. It was a time when my own existence hung precariously on the edge of uncertainty. Far from the familiar comforts of home, I grappled with the harsh realities of survival in a foreign land. Money was scarce, and each day brought new challenges. One evening, with just enough money for a temporary escape from my troubles, I ventured into the seedy underbelly of the city. Neon lights flickered with the promise of fleeting pleasure. Picture it, me wandering the neon-lit alleys of the city with pockets as empty as promises from a politician. I figured, why not splurge a bit and treat myself to a night of questionable decisions? So I did what any sensible person would do in that situation. I hired a lady of the night because apparently my self-esteem was on clearance that night. This wasn't just any encounter. I had expected something else entirely from the hooker I had hired for the night. Instead, it turned into a scene from a B-grade rom-com as she launched into deep, meaningful conversations, never pausing, despite my attempts to shift the focus. Let's just say she had more stories to share than a library. She was a woman of the night, her allure masked by the shadows dancing across her face. Her name was lost to the anonymity of the streets, but her story would echo in my mind for years. With hesitant words and a voice laced with desperation, she revealed the harsh realities of her existence. Forced into a life of servitude by circumstances beyond her control, she dreamt of escaping her current reality. Perhaps it was the flickering neon lights or the fact that my brain was deprived of oxygen from the intoxicating haze of her perfume, but in that fleeting moment I felt a sudden surge of empathy. Overriding the doubts nagging at my mind, I decided to become her knight in not-so-shining armor. I reached out to friends and acquaintances, rallying support for a cause that transcended personal gain. Together, we pooled our resources to raise the necessary funds to pay off her pimp and give her a chance at liberation. With trembling hands and tear-filled eyes, she accepted the gift of freedom we offered. As I watched her disappear into the night, a sense of peace washed over me, soothing the jagged edges of my own turmoil. A few months later, I found myself in a familiar, sticky situation. This time I had arranged for a lady of the night to visit my place. It felt like déjà vu, with more regret and less French. When the doorbell rang and I opened it, there she was again, my favorite damsel, spinning a story so elaborate it could have won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Despite the pang of betrayal, I listened as she recounted yet another tale of woe, each word dripping with desperation. She explained that she had given the money to her pimp to buy her freedom, but it only covered the principal amount, leaving an unpaid balance of interest. Even with the nagging voice of reason in the back of my mind, I chose to believe her once more, succumbing to the intoxicating pull of empathy and misplaced trust. Resigned and feeling foolish, I turned to my friends again, swallowing my pride as I asked for their help in righting a wrong that could never truly be undone. And so, against all reason and logic, I handed over the funds she claimed would buy her freedom, knowing full well that it was a fool's errand. As I watched her disappear into the night again, I realized that sometimes the greatest acts of kindness are born out of the most profound acts of stupidity. Looking back on those nights in Malaysia, I can't help but laugh at my own naivety. I was conned not once but twice by a hooker whose tales were more elaborate than a soap opera. Despite having already been deceived, I wanted so desperately to believe in her story again. Even though I knew deep down she was manipulating me, I ignored my better judgment and gave her the money, hoping against hope that this time she was genuine. In the end, I learned a painful lesson about trust and the complexity of human nature. My actions weren't just about helping her, they were about my own need to be a hero in a world that often makes fools of us all. The experience left me feeling foolish and naive, but it also reminded me of the powerful, often irrational pull of empathy and the lengths we will go to believe in the goodness of others, even when the truth is staring us in the face. Thank you for watching aikdastaan, where every tale is a testament to the human spirit and every voice resonates with the truth as they perceive it.